afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are joining us. Thank you for taking the time to learn about what's new with Microsoft. Today, we're going to be talking about driving business transformation with Microsoft 365 Copilot. I'm David Rosenthal, Vice President of Digital Business at Razor Technology in Philadelphia. So fundamental priorities have been shaping the AI transformation. You've been reading a lot about it in the news. But what is it really about? It's about increasing revenue and reducing costs for your business, about operational efficiency by optimizing workflows and business processes, and boosting employee productivity and making it a better employee experience. Our younger generation employees expect to use these tools at their workplace. AI is here and it has come to work. And the Microsoft 365 Copilot experience is probably the number one tool that you should implement immediately, which is why we're talking about this today. 75% of people are already using AI in some form or fashion at work. Most are bringing their own AI tools, which is a little disturbing from a security, governance, and compliance perspective. And most are not admitting it, that they're using it for their daily work tasks. So we're trying to change that around the leadership story with a special implementation offer that we'll talk about at the end of this session. But almost all executive leaders now believe that AI is imperative to stay competitive, locally, regionally, and globally. But surprisingly, many of them say they lack a plan and vision to implement it. While most are also worrying about measuring and quantifying the gains in productivity, efficiency, when they spend a good amount of money on implementing it. But this is why Copilot for Microsoft 365 should be the first tool and AI technology that you implement at your organization. It's truly your AI assistant for work because it's integrated into the tools that everyone uses all day, every day. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams. And the daily work that we perform can be greatly assisted and made more efficient by Copilot for M365. It contains enterprise-grade security, privacy, and compliance controls. And it's fully integratable to many other apps and services, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Feedback from the early users of Microsoft 365 Copilot is very positive. Almost all have said it's made them more productive and improved the quality. It made them much faster at writing and creating content, altering, augmenting, and improving content that they're used, and to be faster at catching up on missed meetings. In this era of hybrid work, we're hopefully all recording meetings and allowing users who are remote, hybrid, or just simply busy to catch up on meetings they've missed. We've seen at Razor Technology way more than 10 plus hours saved per month for the Copilot users who have implemented. But it is a journey, it is a process. And it does take effort, energy, and time. So what are the key differentiators for Copilot for Microsoft 365? These are a little different than your typical technology project and implementation. First of all, AI leadership and focus is required more than ever. If you think you have technology leadership in your organization already today, you're going to have to quadruple it. The implementation of Microsoft 365 Copilot requires an intense amount of training, adoption, feedback, trial and error, and support. It is integrated within all the apps, as I mentioned, the whole Office suite. So it's pretty easy to understand how it works in the daily flow of work. And we're going to discuss that also in a few minutes. As I mentioned, adoption and skilling is super key and core. There is so much to learn, and it's changing every week and month. Microsoft's releasing new features at an unprecedented pace, and to take advantage of them requires constant skilling and adoption. It's not a once and done training. It is incredibly customizable, which adds to complexity. We recommend starting simply and growing from there in a crawl, walk, run approach, but it is highly customizable to meet the needs of every business. What's relatively new and exciting is a Copilot dashboard that allows you to measure the impact that this AI tool is having on your business. So these are some of the key differentiators compared to many of the other AI technologies you've been reading about in the news. So it is the AI assistant that you can trust. Why? Because of its intense focus on security, governance, compliance, and privacy. First, in security, existing security permissions in your Microsoft 365 estate, your Microsoft 365 subscription are all inherited. I cannot see the private emails of my colleagues through the Copilot M365 AI interface. If they send me the email and include me in the email, I have been naturally granted permission to see it. And those permissions flow through everything in the Office suite. They flow through OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, and other Office 365 related products and services without any additional effort. And this means that data protection labels like product called information protection and data loss prevention are also inherited and persist wherever the content goes. Under governance and compliance in the second category, we've been finding that a lot of customers need to pay attention here. New tools are coming out actually in the next few days going live, an AI data protection hub as part of the Purview suite, allow you to ramp up your preparedness for this new world of AI, to detect and investigate non-compliant usage, to detect bad actions, bad language, violence, other unethical behavior, but more importantly, non-adherence to corporate IT policies around governance, whether it's data protection, information protection, data loss, etc. And there's guided assistance that's growing better every day to remain compliant with AI regulations and with other industry regulations, such as HIPAA, GDPR, and other privacy regulations. And that leads us into privacy, the third category of trust here in Microsoft 365 Copilot. You, the customer, controls your data. Data does not leave your Microsoft tenant. You control where it is stored. You are backed by Microsoft's commercial data protection policies, and no one else has access to your data. Microsoft talks a lot about how using AI, that they do not train their AI models based on your data, on your actions. It remains completely secure within the walls of your Microsoft 365 estate. So it is the AI assistant you can trust. It does need care and feeding. That's what Razor Technology is spending a lot of time with, and more about this in a few minutes. I mentioned that you can extend Copilot for Microsoft 365. You can make Copilot your own tool. It's not just a generic tool for Outlook, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. You can ground Copilot in your business data with connectors. So if you need to ask a question about information that's in a database, in an ERP or CRM system, on a SharePoint document portal, these pieces of information can flow directly into your Copilot for M365 and be utilized right within the flow of your work in creating content, whether you're creating an email or a PowerPoint presentation. You can also connect Copilot to other workflows and other line of business or SaaS-based applications with what's called Copilot extensions. This means you could actually kick off a process. If you ask a question and you like the answer, well, the next step might be to kick off a process, whether it's an approval process or a collection of more data that needs to flow into a sales engine or into an ERP or finance or database. And these extensions can extend to third-party apps, as I mentioned, from Salesforce to Workday, Adobe, MailChimp, everything you can dream up. There are over 1,500 connectors into the Copilot ecosystem. You can also, in the third most complex level, build your own Copilots. We're going to be doing a session about this in a future webinar, so stay tuned. But you can build your own custom Copilot extensions that are completely governed, controlled, and secured by you with your data and your apps. And it can be an incredibly powerful AI-assisted experience. These connectors, if you will, allow the data to stay where it belongs in the system of record, but make it in real time securely available to the user who needs that content. Meaning you do have to have the permission to see the data and use that data in that app. It's extremely strict data permission control. Whether it's in a data warehouse like Fabric, a project management toolkit like Microsoft Project, or other internal app, database, web app. There is a whole world of customizations here to make Copilot a single destination for all of your business data and for your productivity. Some of the examples of extensions that I was mentioning earlier are, for example, adding Viva employee experience into the Copilot. So you're working on your own goals. If you're a technical developer, Jira Cloud. If you're storing files on Dropbox, no problem. There's a connector for that. And hundreds or thousands of other companies are building Copilot extensions so that you can remain in the Copilot experience and be a productive, secure user. The tool that we use to extend Copilot for Microsoft 365 is an introduction here and to be continued in an additional webinar. It's called Copilot Studio, but it empowers developers like those on the Razor technology team to build these connectors and centrally manage access controls and create a customized flow of work. Today's webinar is going to be a little more focused as we turn the chapter here to business value. Now that we've given kind of a quick introduction of the Copilot for Microsoft 365 ecosystem, I'd like to talk about how AI transformation changes with Copilot for M365 in our daily work, in our daily jobs. You know, we are all doing mundane, routine tasks every day, and we are hopefully doing complex, high judgment tasks at the same time. The key for this technology is to get started and grow. It is your AI assistant. We are often advising customers to start with the mundane tasks and empower their employees to increase revenue, optimize costs, and for the employee to have a better experience and thrive in their jobs. It's not just about the technology. And so where do you start? Well, we're often starting with our customers by job function: legal, sales, customer service, marketing, finance, HR, and understanding how they perform their daily tasks. How can we help them to get the benefits of increased revenue and optimize costs by using these tools? Well, here's a great example of key processes by function, right? Each function in nearly every organization has a list of key processes that they do, whether it's by the hour, the minute, by the day, or the week. So a salesperson is following a typical process of lead generation to business development, proposal generation, and the closure of a sale, as well as other reporting and administrative functions like forecasting and analysis. So understanding the key processes of each job function is important because we want to dive into helping each and every function and down to the user level to use these tools effectively. We do that by understanding the KPIs, the key performance indicators that each job function needs and desires to measure. I'll focus on sales today. How many opportunities have been created? Of what size? How is your win rate? And what is your customer retention rate? as well as many other metrics and statistics that are available in the sales function. This is not to replace a Salesforce automation tool, a CRM tool. This is to understand the day in the life of a sales representative and how they go about their job and using all these tech tools, because they probably are using a CRM system, but they're also using Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and several other tools. They're switching between these tools all day long in a disconnected experience. I think this is key. And in order to speed up their efficiency, their opportunity to work on the highest value activities, we have got to provide this M365 Copilot assistant. So I'm going to dive into sales a little bit. I've got more content for each area. Please bear with me and extend the thought process to all the other job functions. We don't have time to go over each of them, but they are extremely similar and related. What we do is work with our customers to understand the key processes, as I mentioned, by function, like lead generation, customer engagement, and negotiations and follow-up. We understand what they are doing in their daily job before we've implemented the tool. So for lead, we'll focus on lead generation, right? We're looking at the day in the life of a sales rep and how they generate leads. They're using tools like the telephone. I'm an old school guy, so I guess you could say cell phone. They're using email. They're using chat tools, text messaging, their CRM system, their website leads, their marketing engine. You get it. There's a large number of tools, probably 6 to 10 in any organization for lead generation, but it's resulting in a broad, untargeted strategy, right? That has a high cost per lead when you look at it all. By implementing Copilot for Microsoft 365, we identify some of the specific scenarios like I just described and how we can use the tool to speed our daily work. With targeted prospecting, for example, we can use Copilot for Microsoft 365 to understand patterns in customer data and discover high quality leads. How do we do that, you ask? Well, we are asking targeted questions about prospects. The questions have to be answered by data. So in this case, that data has to be somewhere. It could be in an Excel spreadsheet, on a SharePoint site, or in a CRM system. So Copilot for M365 does need to be connected to those data sources. But there's a lot of data there to comb through. And so that's where the power of Copilot for M365 comes in. In seconds, it can answer your targeted prospect question. We can ask who in Philadelphia has asked for information about our products or services in August. And the Copilot will, if it has access to the data, will answer the question the best it can. Is it perfect? I'm telling customers, definitely not. Is it very informative in a few seconds? Yes. It requires human intervention to continue to verify, validate all the data that comes back, and perhaps ask the question again in a different way. This is why, back to what I said previously, the training and adoption and support resources are critical to achieve success. As you can see on this screen, there's many other scenarios that could help a salesperson, but also someone in finance, HR, ops, and legal to improve their meetings by taking notes as we go along. In fact, Copilot for M365 is taking notes right now with my voice. It's also transcribing, as you see at the bottom of the screen, in real time. And it's available because of AI in over 50 languages in real time if you're joining a live Teams experience. But creating content is a constant theme for a sales rep especially, and they have to respond to RFPs. They have to prepare for presentations. They have to customize pitches and create personalized offers. Here's where Copilot for M365 can help to very quickly create and modify existing content. You can have an existing corporate presentation and modify it with customized content from your CRM system, from news on the internet, all kinds of sources in seconds. I'll repeat again, it requires human intervention, educated experience, and careful consideration before you trust what the M365 Copilot returns. But as far as the key and core feature and function, it can save you hours and hours of time in a single day, especially for your typical sales rep who now, after creating that personalized PowerPoint I was kind of envisioning, has to enter data into their CRM system, respond with more additional emails and follow-up, do additional research, and create insights as to how the presentation went. Relive the presentation in Teams, watch the recording, ensure that all questions and tasks are followed up on. So just this day in the life scenario of a sales rep, again, it could be someone in an HR function, a finance, a legal, an ops function, same thing. We're constantly doing this. And tracking the KPIs, back to that follow-up here, we have the scenario that I've been reviewing. We have those KPIs to measure how Microsoft 365 AI's Copilot engine can assist to improve our daily business work. Hopefully, in this targeted prospecting scenario I've been talking about, we can speed for that individual user their win rate and close rate, speed their ability to respond, to create content, and to close sales by better understanding meetings, conversations, the pitch, research, personalization, and follow-up that's required in their daily work. Some of what you see on the screen, the icon and the scenario column where you see the colorful Copilot icon, that's where the M365 Copilot out of the box will be a very helpful assistant in those functions. Where you see the kind of squiggly purple-blue Copilot Studio icon is where a customized Copilot will further assist and really accelerate the benefits to that specific scenario. So I just wanted to explain how both of those kind of work together. So you have out-of-the-box Copilot for M365 features, and then you can accelerate, customize specific scenarios and results by building your own Copilot. So I mentioned again at the beginning that I was going to come back to this. Razor Technology has a Copilot for Microsoft 365 Jumpstart with two key roads to journey across: user enablement and technical readiness. And I've been layering these topics throughout the conversation so far. You need to prepare your organization employees for this AI transformation journey. And at the same time, we feel strongly at Razor that you need technical readiness, especially around governance, security, compliance, and overall AI program management. What's key and core is that we request our customers to form a center of excellence or steering committee council with cross the business management and executive leadership, so that we can work not just with our IT friends in the technology group, but also in functional leadership and executive leadership. For user enablement, executive sponsorship, and the evangelism and support that they provide is essential to the success of the adoption of AI. Identifying early champions, power users, who can be those evangelists is incredibly important. As important as identifying some of the key and high priority scenarios, like the sales scenario I was just going through. And to be intentional in the pilot, which is something we also recommend, this is about a pilot with success criteria with measurable results and KPIs. and follow kind of a standard process that we have, a methodology to onboard, engage, and deliver impact. We have a suite of tools here at Razor Technology to enable users, to train them, to help with that user persona documentation, along with an employee communications and champion program. With regular feedback, measurement, and surveys required to learn from successes and failures, and to explain to the organization that this is a new journey, a process, and that they shouldn't be afraid to fail. We should celebrate failures as much as successes, and to amplify those success stories throughout the organization, and do what a marketing team would do to push that forward and to dive into all the benefits that have been realized. On the technical side, we perform a Microsoft 365 for Copilot technical assessment. It's kind of a checklist, a little inventory checklist to see the posture of our customers before we start the project, and to identify areas where we need to really dive in. We focus on the Microsoft Security Score and Compliance Score methodologies to address data, security, and compliance issues, and to train and show our customers how to improve their Microsoft 365 estate. With the appropriate data security controls in place, technology, the IT group can be confident that the hard work they've been doing over the last few years carries forward in an M365 Copilot implementation. And they can implement some of the more advanced compliance and data security controls, like the one I mentioned at the beginning of the seminar, the Purview Data Protection Suite for AI. We have, just as we have measurable results in the user enablement side, we have measurable KPIs and results to show our technology department friends how Copilot is being utilized, where it's being utilized, and to flag any problems and issues along the way. Well, that's our seminar for today. We wanted to keep it relatively short. We encourage you to contact us, answer any questions in the chat, give us a call, an email. We appreciate your time.